through work, I got the opportunity to go off-roading, which was brilliant. And I got picked up by this pristine Land Rover. I believe it's 1 or 2 years old. We got took to the beautiful location of West Auckland, where we picked up supplies. We headed off towards the hills, and we met some locals who were very, very friendly. I kept a beady eye on the convoy to make sure everyone was safe. Thought I'd take a moment to do a quick tour. We're on our way to the North Pennines. We're inside Shields' lovely Land Rover. What year is this from?
86.
What mark is it?
Something like Mark 4.
Mark 4. Quite basic in here. We've got some knobs and dials. We have got heat, which is quite warm. The engine noise is quite loud, but you know, it's not drafty. Can open the window if I want, not gonna. Up in front we've got a G-Wagon and a Jeep. And then at the back we've got another Land Rover, 2 Land Rovers and a little chimney, which you can't see on this bit of road. And we're on our way. We didn't expect the landscape to be so snow-covered and beautiful, and this is just past high force. It was absolutely amazing, breathtaking, and I was kind of there to take photos and make videos, so this was brilliant news. I told Shields that I would delete this footage of him having to do a 3-point turn. That was a lie. And we made our way onto the green lane, one of the highest green lanes in the UK. We got up the hill and we stopped to check out the land, and it was a very snowy and a lot of snow drift, and we were starting to worry about Gaz and his little chimney, which, well, you will see he did struggle, but everyone struggled. But I took some great photos, including that one of the Land Rover. And before long, the lead car, the G-Wagon, was stuck, and so we had to start getting it out. Operation Snowy German. The G-Wagon had become totally beached here. We nicked the mats out of one of the Land Rovers and we were sticking them underneath, thinking that might work and give it a bit of traction, but nope, they just slipped underneath. So we got a bungee rope and attached it to one of the Jeeps. I didn't know this sort of thing existed, but apparently the idea is that the stretchiness makes it kind of boing, pull the vehicle out with a bit more momentum, a bit more spring, and break it free from the mud, but in this case, snow. And eventually it does work, so I think on the next pull or the pull after it goes doink. And this now allowed all the other vehicles to make their way through. And in truth, the first 2 cars had sort of smashed through and got rid of the worst of the snow drift there. So some of the other vehicles were a bit more successful at getting through. And by the time we got to the other side, we'd literally only covered maybe 1-2 miles. But this had taken quite a long time. So we decided to stop for lunch. There's Gaz in his chimney. No fear. Boom. Right through. And then we've got
Tom Gale.
There you go, Tom Gale in his short wheelbase Land Rover. This one is LPG converted and runs on petrol, and you can switch between the two. But something had gone a bit wrong, and he was running on both, it turns out. So throughout the day, he's a bit baffled why it's running so rough and it's a bit shaky. But yeah, he was dual fueling it somehow. And this is a very pretty Land Rover. This was bought from a utility company, so very well looked after, and all the accessories on it and big fat wheels, and that got through no problem.
Oh yeah.
We decided to try out sledging, and it wasn't really working, so I jumped on the mat and started filming. Then this happened.
Picked up. I farted.
And after checking I hadn't followed through, I started getting my camera out and trying to take some photos of lunch, which was a gorgeous stew, and some of the cars and the scenery in the background, and try to do some snazzy high-speed photography, but didn't turn out quite as well as I thought. This beautiful photo of me, it was taken just as I started having a go at driving, and I'm sorry my phone's that way up, but I had to stick it in like a phone holder to drive and get the footage. So I'm on my own in the car here, driving away. The car has such vague steering. I think that's just a Land Rover thing, and you kind of just get taken where the ruts want to take you. Yeah, but it was a great experience. Really enjoyed driving. Gaz the goat small.
Pretty sure if you tried, rip the front of
So the G-Wagon's got stuck up front, and I can't remember exactly how we got it out. I think the Jeep ends up pulling it, and then it can make its way. And we all start making our way down, and then I decide this snowdrift is the perfect place for me to dive in head first, thinking it'll be really spectacular. It was not. So Gaz is in perhaps a less well-equipped... Oh, he's going.
Jesus!
That was brilliant. Been here for a little while pulling out this Suzuki Jimny.
Yeah.
But we keep falling off the trail when we're pulling it out. And we're using like a bungee cord to like shock it out. And we just slip off the trail.
It's just pulling across.
So currently, this Land Rover is getting winched by this Land Rover so we can pull that Jimny out. Spinny. So all this had taken like 3-4 hours and we'd gone 2.5 miles. So we're all getting a bit kind of delirious with all this sort of pulling the cars out. Jimny versus Snowdrift. Take 2. Go on, Gaz. Go on, Gaz. More. Further this time. So while Gaz was getting rescued with a super long rope, which we're all terrified about it snapping and pinging back into the windscreen or something, everybody else got ready to move on, and the long wheelbase Land Rover made its way through, no problem. Bit of a wibbly wobbly part there, but he gets through. This is the Land Rover, the short wheelbase one, and actually we thought this was so good that I put a GoPro down on the track and got this footage. Check that out. And then we're off, and in fact this is pretty much the end of the snow section, so from here we're able to make pretty easy progress. The snow sort of peters out and we make our way off the hill, down until we come to the beautiful reservoir at the bottom. At the bottom I was able to get my SLR out and take a DSLR and take some lovely photos of the lake and as the car's up ahead. And we had one of these regular breaks that seem to happen where I'm not really sure why they happen. I guess it's not very sociable if you just sit in your car all day, so you need to stop occasionally and have a chat and talk about what's breaking and what needs repairing. We got to do a little bit of I don't know, it's not fording really, it's just going through puddles I guess. But it was really cool. The car was really getting rocked about there. And we got to this point where there was a real big puddle, so I stopped and took photos of each of the cars going through. By far the best was this Jimny smashing its way through, getting absolutely covered, and the little Land Rover looked pretty cool too. And yeah, we made our way off now over various hills, and there was no more snow. And we're in the forest near Slaley Forest here, I think. Slaley Hall, a forest called Slaley Forest, and we started making our way through this track as the sun was going down. It had taken us so long earlier in the day that now it's getting towards evening. And then we got to a river, a proper ford, and we'd stood around trying to decide if this was dangerous or not for some time. Everyone was very calm, but in reality if we got stuck here someone would have to wade into that. It was really cold, bitterly cold. It would have been very, very, very unpleasant for that person, but after the G-Wagon went through and made it look really easy, everyone lined up. The Jeep went through.
headlight out? No. What kind of stopping? What's that? One just noticed. It's not even at the bottom of the doors. Those guys might be at the bottom of the doors.
And then the chimney lined up, and we were really worried because the engine had been cutting out throughout the day. There was some kind of like strange starter motor issue. So there was a very real possibility this could conk out.
Washed a bit, or is that just my imagination?
Wasn't washed away, no. It was fine and it made its way through. And then it was our turn, so I jumped inside and filmed from the
Your lovely
inside.
perfect paint job.
Paint work.
And we got through no problem. So we celebrated with some Venga Boys and RGB. Yeah. And then we're off into the night. And this was the last section, really. There was a couple of tracks, some really rough tracks coming up. I think there's one where we go across a field here, where we were just getting battered inside the car, like really beat up side to side, and there's like a V groove in the centre there. That's one of the car's tail hitch was just carving a sort of a groove in the track there.
Oh, David.
Off-roading bukkake.
Not what I wanted. I mean, Chris has got some foliage.
Yeah,
In his toe bar. His toe
I was
bar.
literally, I don't know who it was, but somebody was ploughing it.
This is where Tom discovered that his car was running on petrol and gas.
Open the car safely. Feels like it's going a lot. Look, that's almost wound out now.
And then we started heading home. And I was ready for home, I was tired. But there was one last challenge on the motorway with the Land Rover.
Shields has never taken his Land Rover faster than 62.